This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
Hello, boys. Well, let's get back to it.
Several inches of snow fell on parts of the UK this week. Snow?
Oh, no.
I sincerely hope that your parts remained unaffected. In the north of Scotland, the temperature this week barely got above freezing, which means it was absolutely freezing. In the north, we've had wintry showers along with long spells of rain and hill snow and sunny spells in between. In the south, it's been windy and wet and mildish. Basically everything. We've had everything. Tonight, showers becoming confined to northern and western coasts, and specifically in the northwest, I bet. Checking while you wait. Aha. What? Rubbish. This is in Glasgow. Not raining tonight, not raining tomorrow, not raining on Sunday, and not raining on Monday. Nonsense. Raining a bit on Tuesday, and then dry on Wednesday, and then a bit of rain on Thursday, and then dry on Friday, and then raining on Saturday. It's like one day on, one day off. You'll almost dry out.
Correct.
Almost. Across northern Scotland, some snow on higher ground tonight. Higher ground. Get Stevie Wonder on the phone, he'll play it to us.
Rock and roll!
Saturday, many southern and western parts are dry with sunny spells. You remember the sun, don't you?
No.
Scattered showers, mainly in the north and the east. Cold. That's tomorrow. And then Sunday to Tuesday, cold start, mostly dry, plenty of sunshine on Sunday. Milder from Sunday night, but rain, rainy. Milder-y and rainy-y. That's till Tuesday. Would you like to hear the long-range weather forecast?
No.
For the next 2 weeks, at first, cloudy, rainy, drizzly. Strong winds, heavy rain in the west. Followed by unsettled conditions, which is... that's what that sounds like. Sounds pretty unsettled to me. Winds and heavy rain in the west. Unsettled, rain, strong winds, some snow, overnight frosts may occur. So that's for the next 2 weeks. And then, as we approach what we loosely describe as summer, the next 2 weeks after that, which include the first week of the next month, which is January, February, March, April, May. The first week into May, spells of dry weather, and temperatures are expected to stay above average during this period. Spells of dry weather and temperatures expected to stay above average during this period? We'll take it. Devlin tweets, at least now we know why the Sunaks didn't hear all those Downing Street parties. She's domiciled in India and he was a permanent resident of the US. Yeah. Oh, Struth, what a week. Where do I even begin? Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
Correct.
Fishy Sunak's ambition of becoming the next Prime Minister of this collapsing country were collapsing this week as the multi-millionaire found himself at the centre of a major row over his family finances. You can say that again. Senior Tories and Labour rounded on the Chancellor after it was revealed that he held a US green card for a year into his term leading the Treasury. What? Are you kidding me? What, keeping his options open, was he? In case this job didn't work out? In case this ship that he was actually captaining, if he ran it onto the rocks, he was keeping a dinghy just for himself and his wife. While the status of a US green card holder would not save him any money, it carries a responsibility to make the United States your permanent home. Permanent home. He's going to be living with the Dingaling fraternity. Those people. No, he'll be living behind a big wall that'll keep those people out. I betcha. There'll be a sign in the lobby saying, armed response. The revelation about the US green card thing was uncovered by Sky News and was not disputed by the Treasury. Well, it'd be true then, won't it? This is after Fishy went on the attack over what they called smears against his heiress wife Akshata Murthy, who is living in Downing Street, if you please. while having non-dom tax status. It's not a smear if it's true. I mean, how totally entitled is that? When the rich gets questioned, it's a smear, it's an intrusion, it's an impertinence. We should know our place. She has legally avoided paying a huge UK tax bill by paying just 30 grand a year to register as based in India. But Fishy insisted that she hadn't done anything wrong, while accusing his critics of smearing her to get at him. Again, it's not smearing if it's true. It's the same mentality as the statue fanatics who say that it's rewriting history to tell of the terrible things that men celebrated with statues did in the slave trade. It's not rewriting. It's not smearing. It's telling the truth.
Correct.
Fishy's allies laid blame at number 10, which oddly is where he lives. So are they blaming themselves? No. They're blaming Bodger. They laid the blame at number 10, did Fishy's allies. I want the name of the people who describe themselves as Fishy's allies. Boris's fault.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
They accused the PM's team of a political hit job designed to make his position more secure. His as in the PM's. Yeah, they're, anti-pipsqueak. Pro-PM. Well, that wouldn't be any more of a surprise than if Bodger had been on the phone to one of his Eton chums to have Fishy's arms broken. Well, you're not going to hurt him, really, are you? Pah! But Tory backbenchers who had been relaxed about Ms. Murty's tax status suggested that Fishy's green card raised issues about Sunak's long-term plans. He's got one foot at the airport. Colleagues are generally going off him. They just don't like him, one MP said. Well, I know how they feel. By the way, a lot of newspapers are using the thing Fishy. I mean, to me, it's like the most obvious joke, and I've been making it ever since he hoved into view. But are they nicking my material, or is it just too obvious? Tory backbenchers who had been relaxed about Ms. Murty's tax status, yeah, of course they were, are now saying that this green card thing is like a step too far. I mean, for crying out loud, if you're the chap that's running the country, you should actually be invested in being here, shouldn't you? I mean, it's not like a part-time job, is it? That you could do from somewhere else. He could go and live in one of his other fabulous places, in one of the other countries that he owns homes, and run the country from there. It's like the ultimate work from home. Work from which home? Pick one. Colleagues are generally going off him. They just don't like him, one MP said. He's been trying a bit too hard to be on manoeuvres. His absence when Boris needed support was noticeable. Well, as Bodge needed his cronies to defend the indefensible, that's about the only good thing you can say about Fishy. He didn't defend the indefensible. What he actually did was run away. So, not that good after all. Everybody else was dragooned into appearing like a parade of nodding dogs, telling us that the thing that the Prime Minister has been found guilty of doing is not something that the Prime Minister has been found guilty of doing. And up is down and black is white, and the Prime Minister has been very clear. No, he hasn't. Every time one of those people comes out and says, the Prime Minister has made it very clear that, you know that what follows that is a lie. One minister suggested to the Times that Sunak might have to quit. Well, so he should quit. And Smug should quit after the outsourcing the search for a Brexit benefit to readers of The Sun. Didn't you, Smug?
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
And, by the way, telling a stream of lies to the British people about how cheap our food and clothing and shoes were going to be once we were out of the European Union. Remember that, Smug? We have you on tape. Over and over again you said it. And the £350 million a week for the NHS. They said that that's been delivered already. Smug said that out loud in Parliament. Liar! Of course it hasn't. How are they getting away with it? Sunak, Fishy Sunak should quit, Smug should quit, and every other dissembling, grasping incompetent in the cabinet should quit. Because they're dissembling, grasping incompetence. And the king of them all, the prince of fails. Well, he's got to go because, everything. That is absolutely right. Isn't it, Bodge?
I can't comment on that.
Lib Dem leader Ed... Well, this should be a pop quiz. The Lib Dem leader... Anybody? Anybody at all? Oh, I'm sorry, time's up. Ed Davey. You know Ed Davey, don't you?
No.
He said... The Lib Dems, they used to be a thing. Oh, ask your granddad. Lib Dem leader Ed Davey said, how could the man who is responsible for UK tax policy regard any permanent residency status for the United States as acceptable? This would be a huge conflict of interest and a serious breach of the ministerial code. The ministerial code.
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times. I followed the ministerial guidance at all times. I followed the ministerial guidance at all times. I followed the ministerial guidance at all times.
He lied. The ministerial code. Do me a favour. Lib Dem leader Ed Davey said, Fishy Sunak must come clean about his own financial arrangements and whether he has ever held a green card. If he will not, then we need an independent investigation to get to the bottom of this.
Warning, warning.
An independent investigation? Don't say that, Ed Davey, leader of the Lib Dems. Because that's the regime's get-out-of-jail-free card. Oh, I couldn't possibly comment while the investigation is underway. And then, of course, when it gets delivered, unless it's a total whitewash, they'll just instigate another inquiry into the inquiry that's just finished, and they won't be able to comment until that inquiry is finished. And so on, until the whole charade eats itself, or we get distracted by a woke dinghy. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Here are the studio calls flashing up on the indicator.
Yes, the first call flashing on my indicator is from a person called Jennifer in Weybridge. Hello, Jennifer in Weybridge.
Hello,
Jennifer.
Nick. Now, I've had a brilliant idea, but I need some help with it.
Go on.
And the logistics. Right. Have you heard of these bee-friendly seed bombs that you can get from garden centres? So it's got, wildflowers, garden seeds to throw over to attract the bees.
No.
Right. Well, there you go. Some other people have.
So wait a minute.
Have
Wait.
you heard
Wait. Hang on. Back up. Talk me through this. So it's a seed.
Start again.
It's a seed bomb, and you throw it on the ground, and it creates like a beautiful display of flowers.
Bee-friendly flowers.
Bee-friendly. Is there a non-bee-friendly flower?
Well, no, now that led me on to thinking of all the honesty seeds I've got.
What's that mean?
Have you heard of the lovely garden plant Honesty?
No.
Right, you can Google it later.
I most certainly will do nothing of the sort.
It's a beautiful purple flower.
Oh, I'm looking at a picture of it right now. My glamorous assistant has just magicked one up as though
your granny probably
like
knew
he's a
about
wizard.
Honesty. Now, my
I don't like the
plan
leaves
is-
much. The colour is nice, but the leaves are a bit like nettles.
Well, don't worry about the leaves.
I am worrying about them.
Right. The seeds, after the flowers died, you get the lovely seed.
Right.
Little seed in a sort of see-through seed pod. Okay. I have got a lot of those
See-through
seeds.
seed pod. See-through seed pod.
Yes.
See-through seed pod.
Yes. I have got a lot of the seeds from last year, Nick.
Are they all in see-through seed pods?
Yes.
Right.
Some of the seeds have left their see-through seed.
Oh, I'm looking at a see-through seed pod. Wow, that looks great. It looks like the snack that they would serve before a Chinese meal.
Look, I've got to concentrate on what I would like to say to you, Nick.
Right.
I
Am
need
I helping?
thank you. I need some drones.
Drones.
Drones. I need all
Drones?
these little seeds putting into bags that will burst when they hit the ground. And we're going to bombard 10 and 11 Downing Street.
Oh.
And all those little seeds will grow into honesty plants.
Right. Hence the honesty thing that you were talking about some moments ago that I still don't know what it is. But, yeah, probably not a good idea, I would say.
Why not? I can't see any problem at all. It's a wild plant.
Right.
It looks beautiful.
Yes.
We're not harming anyone, are we? There's no danger to anyone. They're only flower seeds.
Right. Well, like I said, you have my full support, if not my actual help.
Well, you see, the honesty might spread.
But yeah, I very much doubt it. I think it will fall on stony ground around those parts, Jennifer.
We could go into about where your seeds. Right, let's say bye for now, Nick.
Okay, it's been absolutely super, Jennifer, and I wish you all the best.
Bye bye.
There was more, but we'll never know what it was. Oh, we're going to have to live with that forever now. We'll never know what she was about to say. That's going to keep me up all night. It could have been really important. It could have been some nugget of wisdom that would have changed our lives. Now we'll never know. John texts, there are parents who miss meals so their children can eat. People who don't know how bills will be paid because they just don't have any money. People who don't know how the bills will be paid because they just don't have the money. Please, people, before you hit send, just read it through once and correct anything that has got a squiggly line underneath it. He says, I'm a strict disciplinarian about grammar and spelling. He says, Boris Johnson has talked about people, spelt wrong, making different choices. I'll just ignore the rest of the mistakes and I'll try to make the most sense of it I can. He says, and our Chancellor of the Exchequer in 2022 says he won't impose a windfall tax on the energy giants. How heartless can anyone be? Well, I suspect he's an actual robot.
Correct.
I mean, there doesn't seem to be a human being in there, does there? I mean, does he actually have emotions? He looks like a Ken doll. He looks totally made out of plastic, like he came in a box. There is no heart in there. Alan says, go to Dover and practice red lorry, yellow lorry. Go to Dover and practice red lorry, yellow lorry. Are you talking about the queues? The queues to get in and out of Dover, which have absolutely nothing to do with Brexit. Goodness me, no. Why would anybody think that? 0345 6060 973. Peter says, 63-year-old man seeks a good woman. No shouting or using pots and pans to hit me with. I have an almost new Henry Hoover with all the attachments. Could you please put this on the air, as there's been no response from the advert I put in the window of the newsagents. Plus, it costs £1 a week. That's adding up to £7 this coming Monday. You have an almost new Henry Hoover with all the attachments? Well, I'll tell you what, Peter, I'll give you my address. You can come live with me. How's that sound? Problem solved. 0345 6060 973. Streatham. Hello, Robbie.
Oh, good morning. Is it Robbie from Streatham? Good evening, Nick. How are you?
Robbie. Great, mate.
I was going to say we wear similar habits, actually. Clean ones at that. But I'll tell you what, can you just tell me, I don't mean to be intrusive,
but
do you ever do stand-up comedy, in a hall or anything like that?
No, I prefer to sit down. In a studio with individual air conditioning controls and no one else in here. Just
good,
me.
You're wasted. You make a fortune, mate.
On my own.
Out in the big wide world, you make a fortune, mate, I tell you.
Well, thanks a lot, Robbie. I like it in this tiny little world that I'm inhabiting right now. But thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Gordon says, they say now that you are okay if your waist measurement is not more than half your height. That's great, says Gordon. It means I am no longer overweight. I'm just 8 inches too short. A listener with material. Oh, no. But I'll let it go this one time. Just this once. 0345 6060 973. Well, everybody seems to be in a tremendously good mood tonight. I don't know why. Chipping Camden. Chipping Camden. David.
Hello, how are you?
Is there really a place called Chipping Camden?
Absolutely.
Right.
It's not Chipping Norton, that's where the Cameron lives. But, Chipping Camden.
That's where
is a place.
the Cameron lives. Yeah, absolutely. And he's dragging the tone of the neighbourhood down.
I think this is nonsense.
Don't stray down that way. It's awful.
What does the chipping part mean then?
It's a small bit in a valley in a den. Goes back to the ancient times.
A small bit, did you say?
A small bit, a small village in a valley.
A small village in a valley?
Yeah, that's what it means. And It's in a valley. It's almost like geography.
Wow, it's an educational show, this, isn't it?
No.
Not really.
Well, but on educational shows, is Sunak's wife paying retrospectively the tax, the shows, or is she ignoring that bit?
Well,
is
I
she
would
going
like
from the tax year?
Yeah, because she said now that she's all right then. I'll pay taxes like the little people, not leprechauns.
When is this going to happen?
Well, apparently,
I was a taxpayer in Spain. I lived in Spain and paid tax in Spain.
Yes.
I was over the 183 rule, and that's where the idea is you pay tax where you live on worldwide income. So you have what they call a Modella 720, and you declare everything, and that's how it works. And then when you come back to the UK, you declare it in the HMRC view, and you pay tax in Britain. And that's how it works. Now, these people have been getting away with it for years. This non-dom doesn't exist anywhere else other than in the UK. And
that can't be true. Is
it?
It
doesn't. Yeah. No. In Spain, you pay on the 720, so millionaires who live in Spain over 183 days pay everything they earn. Sorry, that's my dog running around. Everything you earn on worldwide income in that country. That's the rules.
Right.
So
I certainly know that that's the rule in America, but I didn't know that we were the only country on earth that allows this manner of finagling.
Well, it may be in places like North Korea or some parts of Indonesia that
right.
But everywhere else has a tax rule, and this is why the tax treaties exist. And this is how you pay it. So HMRC agree with Hacienda in Spain and with the bureaucracy in Portugal that goes on. But everyone agrees that there is this tax treaty, apart from the UK.
Yeah.
That has
Well, it's what we do for a living. We hide the criminal wealth of the international super rich.
But the next question.
I'm not saying that what's her name has acquired her wealth criminally speaking.
Oh no, she's not. She's just not. There's a difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion.
Yeah,
and
tax evasion is what poor people try to do, and that's illegal, and that will get you in jail. Tax avoidance is what rich people do, and it is within the law, because the laws were written for the benefit of rich people.
But she has evaded tax because the HMRC have clear rules.
Not evaded.
It's the 183 rules. No, she has evaded tax.
Not evaded, avoided.
No. But she has evaded tax. This is a rule-breaking thing. If her life is here, and this is how the HMRC work, and the Hacienda works in Spain, if your life is centralised within the country you live in, and
right. Okay. Whatever you're about to say, David, there are loopholes that shiny buildings filled with accountants and lawyers will be able to leap through, but the likes of you and I won't be able to because we don't read gobbledygook. But avoidance, like I said, that's what the rich do. And they can avoid paying tax to the point that they don't pay any at all. And that's completely legal. But if you pay your plumber in cash and he doesn't charge you the VAT, then that is illegal and you will go to jail. If you owe HMRC £500 million, then that's HMRC's problem. And they'll just probably write it off and wish you, the best of the day. Send round a muffin basket for your trouble. But if you owe them 50p, then they will chase you to the end of the earth and make sure that you pay and pay and pay. Because the laws are written for the benefit of the people who write the laws, who are those that are in power. And those in power rely on for their money. God, what a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC. It's 10:30-ish. And the news headlines here with Zora Solomon.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio, making a picture again.
Yeah, it's a radio show, dear. Hannah texts, I wonder if Brexiters are still happy they voted for a shameless con artist and a pathological liar who is destroying this country, when Corbyn was going to bring public services into public hands and would never have squandered billions of pounds of public money on party donors and mates. See if the former Labour voters who put that clan in number 10 are better off with the shower that is the current government, says Hannah. Yep, I think that's just about right, Hannah, there. But you should, in future, stop sitting on the fence, Hannah, and tell us what you think. 0345 6060 973. Here is an important call in Wandsworth. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Yeah, you really do set up the weekend. Great show. Love the show.
Thanks.
Right, so I've got a quick question. I'm totally 100% on board with you regarding the grammar police, when people don't check their messages.
It's
and you've
easy.
got to find the typer.
The machine actually squiggles underneath your mistake.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Yeah. There's no hint there at all, is there? They check it before you send it.
Correct.
Right, so...
But before you say anything, I am very, very guilty of doing that on Twitter, just bashing it out with my fists and then hitting send and then thinking, oh, no, that's not right. And can I be bothered to delete it and then write it again? Sometimes maybe yes, sometimes maybe no.
So therefore, now that leads me on to the question, and the reason behind the call is I've got a curious observation. What were your thoughts about the Professor Stanley Unwin from the Carry On films and his gobbledygook talk?
Well, he must have had. I mean, presumably he's dead now. I mean, he was pretty old when I was a kid. I think he looked like the sort of person who was old when he got born. But that was some sort of strange mind he had working there. I don't know how he kept that up.
But it was hilarious, though, to look at, though, wasn't it?
To look at?
To listen to.
Listen to. Well, I suppose once. If you're
watching the film, you'd be looking at it as well, wouldn't you?
It was a bit of a one-note joke. Yeah, I suppose so. I don't actually remember him in any carry-ons. What carry-on was he in?
I think it was in Cabby and Carry On Cabby. I think something like that.
Right. Was that one of the later ones?
It was one of the earlier ones.
Oh, like I said, one of the earlier ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that.
sorry to correct you there, Nick.
I am in want of being corrected almost all the time. And I appreciate it, Nick.
Thank you.
0345 6060 973. DC tweets, remember when John Prescott got ripped to shreds for having two cars? Oh, my God, yes. Wow, yes, I do. Blimey. Talk about going back in time. Yeah, that was back in a time when if a minister had been found with his hand in the till, then he would, or she, sexist, would do the decent thing and resign. Is there a single thing that is a resigning matter with the current regime? I mean, anything at all? They just keep coming out and saying the same blooming thing.
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times.
Yeah, and we know that they didn't. DC tweets, oh no, I just read that. Stupid. Hannah tweets, nope, read that one too. Wow, I am way ahead of schedule. I'm doing very, very well. Daryl says, admit it, you is well gel of Chancellor Richie Rich's riches. You'd love to get your mitts on some of that dosh. It's just the politics of envy, pure and simple. Daryl, I don't mean to be offensive when I say this, but you're an idiot. That's the sort of thing that idiots say. Batting away all arguments with it's just the politics of envy. Admit it to yourself, Daryl, you're a stupid, stupid person, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a supportive way. Andy says, don't tell Keith Richards about the forecast for snow on high ground. That would be a mountain rescue waiting to happen.
Rock and roll!
No, I don't think Keith Richards does snow anymore. I think that would probably kill him. I think he actually said that out loud, didn't he? Like something like that. He had a fight with a coconut tree, and the coconut tree lost. Paul tweets, any further news from Dick and Dom? Who's that? Who's Dick and Dom? I don't even understand the tweets on this show. And I'm supposed to be in charge of it. Isn't that shocking? Kids. Okay, here comes a message from next door. Kids TV presenters. Any further news from Dick and Dom? Yeah, I don't get it. What are they talking about?
I don't know. But they were on Dick and Dom in the bungalow.
Who were?
Dick and Dom.
All right. Like I said before, it's an educational show, this, isn't it?
No.
Not really. Adam says, you called it months ago. Rishi is indeed fishy. Yes, he is. And now national newspapers are making that as a headline, like they thought it up. Although, I guess I can't take too much credit for it because it is very, very obvious. Fishy Sunak always seemed fishy to me. The Chancellor has been hit by a massive political backlash over the revelation that Ms. Murty, his wife, is domiciled in India for tax purposes. Well, I suppose we should be grateful that she's not domiciled in a cloud circling Neptune for tax purposes. This is despite, by the way, she living in a taxpayer-funded flat in Downing Street. What? We're paying for her flat. Remember that. We are paying her, a billionaire, who has made her tax position efficient to the point that we could only dream of, to live in luxury flat in prime central London, and we're paying for it. But it's much, much worse than that. I've got detailed files. Don't get distracted by the fluff of it, as Smug would say. The fluff, a Smug.
I don't know anything.
Exactly. One more time.
I don't know anything.
Another one for good luck.
I don't know anything.
I believe you. I actually believe you. And, by the way, apart from the flat, we just gave her other half a £2,212 pay rise, and they don't have to pay their electric or gas bill, and they get chauffeured in a limousine on us, and they get £250,000 a year in expenses, and we subsidise their food and drinks bill. Do you ever get the feeling that you've been had?
Yes.
But it's worse than that. Because the Mirror reported that Infosys, the family firm in which she has a £713 million stake, has won UK public sector contracts worth £50 million. What? £50 million. Even if she plays no role in the running of that business, she would get a share of profits made in the UK by this India-based company that she has a £713 million stake in. I mean, I am stunned. Shadow Attorney General Emily Thornberry said... She accused Fishy's wife of taking advantage of her decision to claim non-domicile status to avoid paying taxes. And you know what? What she said since about her paying the taxes from now on, that don't make no never mind. She wouldn't have said that if this fuss hadn't been kicked up. If we hadn't found out about it, it would remain the same. You get no points. Nul point. Emily Thornberry, Shadow Attorney General, said, in the end, we have somebody who's been living here for 8 years, raising her children here, living at Downing Street in accommodation provided by the taxpayer and aspiring to be the wife of the next Prime Minister, and yet she says that she isn't a permanent resident of this country. For crying out loud, what is happening to this country? And the friends of the Fishy must have been scratching their heads to find a way to turn the story round. How are we going to get out of this, they must have thought. Let's make it about the people commenting on it, rather than about the thing that they're commenting on. And after about 10 seconds, some bright spark said, I know, we'll call it racist. And as predictable as the bell on the hour, they all came trooping out to call us racist. if we even contemplate questioning a member of Her Majesty's government, then that makes us racist. God, it's like being in a Little Britain comedy sketch, ain't it? Government Minister Greg Hands suggested that there could be a racial element to the criticism. He said some of the commentary about her being a foreign national has been unpleasant. Stop being unpleasant, people. You're disturbing a poor defenceless billionaire. If any of this happened 20 years ago, people would have been stunned. I mean, anything that we've got used to over the last 12 years, if it had happened 20 years ago, people would have pulled their hair out. They wouldn't have believed it. There'd be riots in the streets. Now we're just like, oh, well, oh, well. Ms. Murty, 42, was forced to make an embarrassing climb down yesterday over initial suggestions that her non-dom status was an automatic product of her Indian citizenship. Yeah, that's right. They said, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it. It's, it's automatic. A spokesmodel acknowledged that she had taken a decision to apply for non-dom status, for which she pays a flat fee of 30 grand a year. Although, now keep that sum in mind, 30,000. Although she pays full UK tax on earnings in this country, her status means she only pays international tax on money earned abroad, provided it stays there, including her dividends from her £713 million stake in the Indian tech giant Infosys, founded by her father. So she pays 30 grand a year. Now that sounds like a lot of money. But not compared to what tax experts said last night, was that the status of being a non-dom could ultimately be worth as much as £300 million to the Sunak family. £300 million.
What?
I know. It's just staggering, really, isn't it? And when this is brought up, we are made to feel guilty for questioning them. Just ruminate on that for a while. We have the impertinence to quiz our betters. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Apparently, not them. For us. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Oh, hello.
0345 6060 973. Sue texts, listening to you and watching the Masters golf. Do you like the golf? Tiger Woods doing well after his terrible accident. He had an accident? Is that the accident where he got beaten up by one of his wives/girlfriends with a 4-iron? Or am I imagining that? Or was that just something that happened in South Park? I can't remember. Do I like the golf? I would like to be good at golf, but I wouldn't actually like to have to go through the process of learning it. I think the last time I played golf, I had a I had a tantrum. I was on my own playing what approximates golf, and I think I hit off the tee, 5 balls in a row into the river, and then I threw my golf bat down and stormed off. I thought, that'll teach golf. Mess with me. Ellie texts, Dishy is being stitched up by wishy-washy blonde. Yeah, we have to stop going along with this nonsense, because that's what they're peddling. The Chancellor thinks the disclosure of his wife's tax status on the very day that he increased national insurance was a coordinated attack, according to the Times. Oh, really? Well, you know what? Welcome to the club, Fishy, because we poor dopes who pay taxes think that we are the focus of a coordinated attack. As the price of absolutely everything is going up, and you're hiking our taxes as well in order to plug a funding gap that your own government caused by dragging us out on a ruinous Brexit, that by your own government figures is going to be worse for us than the pandemic response, which you are also responsible for. I mean, if that's not a coordinated attack, then what is? An ally explained it feels like there's a full-time briefing operation against him. This is a hit job, a political hit job. Someone is trying to undermine his credibility. No. If it was lies being told about him, then maybe. But you can't undermine someone's credibility by telling the truth about them. If the truth undermines their credibility, then it is by definition their fault for doing that thing that caused them to lose credibility. God. It comes to something when political leaders in this country view people telling the truth about them as an attack. I mean, just pause and think about that for a minute. How dare we little people tell the truth about them? That's us being mean, that is. And the reaction from Fishy and his enablers is as telling as it is predictable. It's to whine that it's so unfair, and then to start lashing out at whoever is reporting the facts. I mean, I bet if Channel 4 News reported any of this, the government would sell them off just to get back at them. Oh, no, wait, that's right, they're already doing that. Well, I'll go to the foot of our stairs. Aberdeen. Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Nick. How are you doing?
Great, mate. How are you doing?
I'm excellent.
A1, tippity top.
Yeah. I want to talk a bit about the sort of
yes?
outrageous government we've got at the moment.
Oh, right.
My reading of it is that they're just hoodwinking the public.
Hoodwinking?
And, yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter how many lies that they tell.
Mm.
Their fans, the supporters, just fall for it every time. And I think,
but I don't think it's like that. They're not falling for each individual one. They have decided ahead of time that whatever they say or do, they're on board with, as long as it upsets the Liberals.
Yeah, I think a proportion of their supporters know that they're lying.
Yeah, they don't care though. They shrug their shoulders and say, "Oh well, we knew that that was baked in when we voted for Boris. He's doing his best. Leave him alone."
It's precisely what Trump did in America.
Exactly.
He pulled the same trick.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful. Because, well, frankly, the opposition leader is pretty weak. He tells the truth.
Who does? Who are we talking about now?
Starmer.
Oh, Keir Starmer, right.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
He tells the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it doesn't matter to some people that he's telling the truth.
We are you got it right about Trump. It's the same people that got Trump elected that got this lot elected and that dragged us out from Brexit and are now trying to ruin our response to climate change by pretending it's not a thing. It's all the same people. I mean, if you squinted and thought about it really hard, it might appear to you as though they're actually trying to ruin this country because everything they do seems to be against our best interests.
Well, look at Rishi.
Look at who?
Rishi Sunak.
Yeah, Fishy. Mm-hmm.
I read an interview on Sky News website with him yesterday, and it was like he was denying responsibility for his own wife.
Of course. They all deny responsibility for everything that they do. The only person that is responsible in the manner of or in this matter are the people who have the temerity to question them because they are being racist or sexist or it's the politics of envy or all these stupid things that people keep coming out with.
It's got to the extent where they've affected the moral fabric of the country.
Exactly. Yeah, I believe that you're right. It only took him about 2 years. Two short years.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
And he's ruined and abused the lot of us.
I mean, let's say before 2010, before this Motley Crue got in.
You know, I think it'd be better if Motley Crue were actually running us.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
at least it would be fun every now and again.
Rock and roll! Oh, it would be rock and roll, baby. Certainly before 2010, we had Gordon Brown, who was he made some mistakes as Chancellor, like selling the gold off a low price, and his pension policy, he made some mistakes there.
But when you hear him talking now, it's as though an actual real-life old-style politician, a diplomat is speaking, as opposed to this clown show that we got going on here at the moment.
He speaks with authority.
Exactly.
And he also speaks the truth.
Yeah.
And he stands up for causes that he believes in.
Yes.
And social justice and all the good things that the current law
are strangers to.
Yeah, they have this sort of strange cloak of respectability.
It's. I don't think it is a cloak of respectability. I think it's a cloak of it's almost like show business. They've got their fans, and it's like a cult. It is almost like a religion, and it's a religion based on, as many religions are, hatred of others. And there's just enough people whose number one sort of interest in life is hating people who aren't like them, and they're going to appeal to them, and regardless of anything that they do, even if it's against the interests of the people that are voting for them, they'll still vote because of this overriding hatred of others, and that's how they're going to run their next election campaign. They're going to base it on spotting dinghies. And the woke thing, and if those two don't work for them, then I think they're all out. Well, they've got the tax cut just before the next general election. Fishy Sunak has already said that out loud. He said the quiet part out loud. We knew you were going to do it, Fishy, but you're not supposed to tell us you were going to do it 2 years before you actually do. All right, thanks a lot, Daniel. 0345 6060 973. Get Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx on the phone. We really need them to take over straight away.
Rock and roll!
Get this Motley Crue out and get the actual Motley Crue in. Ellie says, Dishy is being stitched up by Wishy Washy. Blondie. Yeah, I read that. George tweets, when Jacob Rees-Mogg said our food would be cheaper after Brexit, he meant foie gras. He didn't mean peasant food. Yes. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Adam says they should rename it the Ministerial Da Vinci Code, the search for the holy grail of political decency and moral decorum. Political decency and moral decorum. Any chance of finding that anytime soon?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
It's a no. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott,
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
Hi, honey. How are you? Oh, hello.
0345 6060 973. A £25,000 hamburger. What? For £25,000, I'd want the cow and the farm it's standing in. Rachel says, I think the scene at the petrol station, which spectacularly backfired, may be responsible for Fish's downfall. Don't pretend to be down with the people when you clearly fly high above the rest of us. Exactly. Correctamundo, Rachel. You're not a normal person. Embrace your inner pipsqueak. But it's much, much worse than I've been mentioning so far. Yeah, never mind about the non-dom stuff. Never mind about the 30 grand a year to save what could be worth as much as 300 million in tax to the Sunak family. So say experts. Tax experts say that. Never mind about all of that. What about this? A report claimed that Fish's wife profits from £50 million in UK public sector contracts.
What?
Yes. She has a stake worth getting on for 700 million quid in the Indian IT giant Infosys, and since 2016, the firm has earned £15 million working for the Care Quality Commission, which is the regulator of UK care homes. In 2019, Infosys also won a £5 million contract with the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, and this year secured a £25 million IT contract from the Tory-run East Sussex County Council. She is wealthier than the actual bloomin' Queen. She is registered as non-domiciled for UK tax purposes, a legal way to avoid paying taxes in Britain on overseas income. The status often used by the super rich to save thousands or even millions of pounds in tax, which we can't because we do not have the money to employ buildings of accountants and lawyers in order to find the loopholes in the tax code, which run to about 30,000 pages. And the reason it's so big is precisely because you can bury loopholes in a very large document that you would not be able to do in a much smaller one. It's not an accident, it's the plan. Oh, and you'll love this bit. If you've been appalled, get ready. It's not about to get any better. Not only is she as rich as the Queen, or richer than the actual bloomin' Queen, she is worth £200 million more than she was this time last year. What? Are you worth £200 million more than you were a year ago, dear listener? I'll assume that the answer is no.
Yes.
No. Shall I do the bit where they say we pay all the tax that is legally required in every jurisdiction in which we do business? For her part, she insisted that she pays all taxes on all UK income and said the setup is required because she is an Indian citizen, which is incorrect. A number of tax and accounting experts have disputed this. The bulk of her wealth comes from this Infosys, the IT firm, founded by her billionaire father. She holds a 1% stake. That's worth £727 million. 1%! And her personal wealth went up by £200 million compared to a year ago. The super rich have had just the most fantastic pandemic. Oh, they've been coining it in like they couldn't possibly have believed to be even possible a couple of years ago. £200 million more this year than last year. But her non-dom status meant that she was not liable for tax on overseas earnings, including, but not limited to, dividends from her father's company, which reportedly paid £11.6 million to her last year. That sum could have meant paying £4.4 million to HMRC, according to the Times. I mean, we're not talking about a footballer. We're not talking about somebody who is in the entertainment business. We're talking about a rock star. He's the actual chancellor of this country. And we are the bad ones for bringing it up. We're being mean. Oh. They'll be able to go and, lick their wounds in one of their many, many properties. They've got a £1 million flat in Kensington, a nearby Mews house worth £7 million, a £2 million mansion in Fish's Yorkshire constituency. Hey, by the way, all you good people of Richmond in Yorkshire, thanks for voting for Fishy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. What was it that attracted you to him, apart from the cashmere hoodies and the selfies with his dog? And his excellent way of finding his way around a petrol station. Oh, they've also got a £5.5 million penthouse in California overlooking Santa Monica Pier, which they use in the holidays. Holidays, which they take to reward themselves for excellence in being them. And this non-dom status, this has been a feature of the British tax system for centuries, because it's what we do for a living. Essentially, we wash the ill-gotten gains of the international criminal super-rich. Not that I'm suggesting that this is a category that includes them. Mr. and Mrs. Fishy. But we know that that's the case because of the oligarch business. Only because that swivel-eyed golem in Moscow blew his top and invaded the next-door country to denazify it. How insane would you have to be to actually say that out loud? He's going to denazify it. I think that this entire planet needs a reset. Maybe if we turned it off and on again, would that be a good idea? Non-dom status has been a feature of the British tax system for centuries, because it's what we do for a living. There is no suggestion that Ms. Murthy has done anything wrong, let alone illegal. Of course not, because the laws were written for the benefit of the rich, which is why our tax code runs to thousands of pages to give anyone with the means to hire a fancy building of accountants the ability to find loopholes that are buried within it, which will elude the rest of us, because we don't speak gobbledygook. It's not an error, it's not an accident, the loopholes. It's the purpose. The revelations are apparently, according to the Times, are embarrassing for the Chancellor in a week when he raised taxes for millions of working people while pretending to be a normal, down-to-earth sort of chap by trying to pay for something in a shop and failing to understand how it's done. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. Camden. Hello, Ellie.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Ellie.
Nick.
Ellie.
Sorry, I'm trying to formulate some words that aren't absolutely insulting to everybody. I want to make a couple of points at today, if you can hear me out.
Well, this is a very, very bad line, Ellie. Can you...
Hold on, I'll switch up my volume.
Yeah, switch up your volume. That's actually much worse. Turn your volume down. That's better.
Yes?
Well, let's go ahead and see how far we get.
Okay. One of the things I heard a few Mondays ago when Rishi Sunak's assets were broadcast as being told in The Guardian, there's quite a number of Amazon.
Oh, Ellie, have you got a landline by any chance?
Oh, God.
Have you got a landline?
I don't think God's going to help me with my mobile. No, I'll call tomorrow.
Well, it sounds like you're calling us from a deep-sea diving bell. When you get to the surface, give us a ring. 0345 6060 973. Seriously, how long is it going to take mobile phone manufacturers to actually make a blooming mobile phone that you can use as a phone? What's taking so long? I don't get it. Oh, she's back on a better line, says my glamorous assistant. I am stunned that it happened so quickly. Ellie!
Thank you.
There you
Hello,
are.
Nick.
Yes.
Hi. I want to make a couple of points.
Okay.
In the Amazon debacle, or in Rishi Sunak having shares in Amazon, I think what might be a good idea is to get...
Oh, this is not a better line, is it? It's in fact, I'd say it's a worse line. So she was not back on a better line. That was incorrect information. Liar! I'm surrounded by them. Anyway, Ellie, best of luck. Tweet it to me, or use the semaphore signals. Get Reckless Eric on the phone and he'll sing that song for us. Semaphore signals.
Rock and roll!
Anybody remember Reckless Eric? Well, you should do. Adam says they should rename it the Ministry... No, I've read that. The search for the holy grail of political decency and moral decorum. There is no political decency, there is no moral decorum. Not anymore. We have been... we've been sullied. Ugh. I feel like after 12 years of Tory rule, I need a shower.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
0345 6060 973. Crosby in Merseyside. Hello, Dan.
Young Nick, how are you doing?
Great, mate.
Nick, we were promised an inquiry in the spring about the PPE scandal and this and that, and it's all gone very quiet in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me, or am I missing something?
Well, it wouldn't have made any difference one way or the other. If there's an inquiry into PPE, it would have taken £50 million and 5 months, and the conclusion would be lessons must be learned, and that would be the end of it.
Nick, do you know what? Back in the day, when I was listening to James O'Brien, yourself, and you talking about this kind of stuff, and he was saying it's costing 37 billion for the track and trace and Dodo Harding. Yeah. I mean, it's all gone quiet. What does Dodo Harding do now? I mean,
I bet she wakes up laughing.
She must do. She really must do. She must be. Honestly, when I first heard the figures, Nick, I thought 37 million. I mean, wow, that sounds like a lot of money. 37 million.
Yeah, no.
But 37 billion.
Billion, yeah.
And then when you talk about this Nazanin Zaharie Radcliffe, this lady who was released, over a mere 400 million.
Exactly right.
Which was owed.
Pocket change. Yeah, it's what the government would find down the back of its sofa, metaphorically speaking. Yeah. It was nothing at all. It was a political decision to keep her there.
To use Boris, our friend Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson, that would be chicken feed.
Chicken feed, exactly.
You know what? The guy, I mean, she's released now, thank God. But that's a death which I understand is crossed different party lines, Tory, Labour, etc. But the thing is, 37 billion. When are we going to get a breakdown? At the end of the day, I'd like to see a breakdown if I'm going to pay.
Exactly. It's a third of the entire budget for the NHS. How is it possible to spend that much money on a phone app that doesn't work?
Nick, it was useless. I'm talking, it's billions. And,
but that's not the end of it. It's not just the phone app. It's absolutely everything else. I'll say it again. The best time in history to take money from the public and give it to the rich has been the pandemic. The only thing that would be better is a war.
Oh, Nick, do you know what? I couldn't agree with you more. In times of strife, there's massive money to be made. And, I think about, I can mention the Sunaks, Rishi Sunak. I mean, and there's all of a sudden she's now saying, "Oh, I'll pay this, that, and the other." To pay £30,000 to mask this domiciliary thing, where she lives.
Well, it's not 30,000 to mask it. It's 30,000 to actually take part in that little scheme.
Exactly. It's yet another sort of. It's just another scam, really.
Well, it's the kind of. I mean, just to say out loud, "Oh, okay, I'll pay my taxes. I'll pay the taxes that are due in this country." I mean, it's like it's an option for them.
Nick, she doesn't live in some leafy suburb in Knightsbridge or in some sort of leafy part of Norfolk. She lives next door to the guy who combs his hair with the toffee apple.
Yeah, well, the guy who has parties in his house and doesn't realise that he's at a party. So I think all bets are off, really. I think that, we're all totally screwed. Never mind, eh? Thanks a lot, Dan. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, have I taken a break yet?
I don't think so.
Not to your knowledge.
No.
Right. So if I take a break and it's not supposed to be a break, do you take full responsibility?
Maybe.
That's a no, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it's a
no.
0345 6060 973.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Are you trying to be funny? Because I'm all out of laughs.
This entire country is all out of laughs. The Party of Fiscal Prudence update. PPE bought for hundreds of thousands of pounds is being auctioned by the Conservative government for a fraction of its cost on an auction site.
What?
In an attempt to offload billions of items of unwanted PPE, ministers are holding a fire sale of items that they hope will recoup some money for the taxpayer. No, they're not. Sorry to be cynical, but they're not remotely interested in recouping some money for the taxpayer. Please. They are more likely trying to recoup some of the support they'd lose if their cack-handed incompetence were to become widespread knowledge. Do you know, it's so bad that it's costing us poor dopes who pay taxes £7 million a month just to store the stuff that they bought from their friends and donors at massive markups that either didn't work, or we didn't need, or didn't show up. Officials insist the auctions are the best alternative to burning unwanted PPE to avoid having to pay storage costs. Those are our options. Sell it off at a massive loss, burn it, or store it at £7 million a month. Great options. Total cost to the taxpayer of PPE on sale has been estimated at about £600,000, but it had also so far attracted bids of only £2,500. £2,500 for £600,000 worth of stuff that we paid for. But don't worry, because Bodger Johnson is doing his best. This is you doing your best. Isn't it, Bodge?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
The National Audit Office found last month that about half the PPE bought in the pandemic had not been used. Half. 14.2 billion items were languishing in storage. I'll do that million and billion thing again, because you hear billion and it's just such a big number, you don't really know what it is. So let's have some perspective, shall we? A million seconds is, now this is off the top of my head now. Oh, I've kind of forgotten. But I think a million seconds is 11 days. I'll have to look this up. I think this is more or less right. A million seconds is about 11 days. A billion seconds is 31 years. That's how much bigger a billion is. More or less. Approximately. Maths.
Boring.
Yeah. 14.2 billion items. Then we're paying £7 million a month just to store them. 1 in 10 items bought by the government was unsuitable for NHS use. 1 in 10! The government's had to write off £8.7 billion because of falls in the stock's value. They just wrote it off. Oh, well. Never mind. That's 8.7 billion, not million, 8.7 billion pounds. And for more perspective, that is about a fifth of the total that this government will spend on education for those kids who do not go to private school. They just threw it away. The party of fiscal prudence. So, you know, tell me again how they're keen to recoup some money for the taxpayer, like that's even on their horizon of interests. But it gets worse. Because the excuse that the government is giving for this massive transfer of public money into the pockets of a suspiciously large number of their close personal friends and donors is that it deliberately erred on the side of saving lives by making sure the NHS would not run out of PPE. You see, they were just trying to help us. Well, listen, stop helping us. We can't afford it. 0345 6060 973. Oh, here is the straight dope. A million seconds is 12 days. A billion seconds is 31 years. It's not just a little bit more, it's a massive amount more. Keep that in mind when they start talking about millions and billions, because if you're like me, when people start talking numbers, your eyes cloud over and you fall into a stupor. East Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Nick. Great show tonight.
Thanks.
I've got a Patel bit and a fishy bit. Not that Patel isn't fishy, but which bit would you like first?
Well, let's get the horror show over first. Let's do the Pretty Patel bit first. I've decided to become appalled even before I've heard what you're going to say.
This morning, she went to a Ukrainian centre in London.
Oh, those poor people haven't suffered enough.
And was there? Well, the people there were stony faced, I can tell you. But anyway, she was interviewed about the refugee programme.
Yeah.
And she didn't answer a single point. No. It was put to her that she'd boasted that she'd surged the number of British officials abroad to aid with visas.
Oh, please.
And so she contested the boast bit. Never talked about the fact that there are no British personnel abroad, hardly, helping.
Yeah.
Then she was asked, Ireland and other countries have done a lot better than us.
Everyone has done better than us.
Everyone. And she immediately diverted that into saying it's very difficult to set a channel up. It's time-consuming to set up a new route, but didn't answer the original question. And then the questioner said, but it is valid to ask you about comparisons. No, you must ask about how long it takes to set up a complex route to bring people in. And the whole thing, she never answered a point. She was asked loads of points.
Well, yeah, go on.
And diverted to pick up on an adjective
of course.
in the question.
Yeah, right, exactly right, yes. Just it's distraction. The problem that the government has about that is that it's their main selling point come the next general election, making sure that as few foreigners as possible make their way to these shores. That's why they've been discombobulated with even their fans' reaction to the Ukraine refugee crisis. Even the government's fans have sort of opened their arms and said that, these poor people must be given shelter, which surprised the government a very considerable amount indeed, because that was the basis of their appeal come the next election. We will stop those dinghies coming in.